G'day mates, it's the Doctor here, and welcome to my 1K Q&A video. Now you notice there is a difference in audio, and that's because my laptop has been acting up on me, and that's not a good sign. So while that is off at the repair yard, I will be recording like this, and luckily, I still have my main computer to put it all together, so thank you everyone who submitted their questions, and let's see what you got for me. From the Thomas the Tank Engine Chan 4055, what's your favorite Thomas character? Well, that's supposed to be who, but it's gotta be Boko. I said it before, but he's still my favorite character. I like his subdued nature that he gets a lot of flack from other characters, but rubs it off and carries out with his business. And if there is any character I could voice for the official Thomas show, it would be Boko. I think my natural speaking voice fits well for Boko. And yeah, he's the one character I would voice. Question 2. What's your favorite Thomas episode? Okay, this is a little tricky because my favorite episode fluctuates all the time, and yeah, whatever I say will probably change in like a week's time, but for now, I'll just list some of my favorite episodes. Troublesome Trucks, the first episode I ever watched. Pop Goes the Diesel for introducing the diesel dynamic. One Good Turn, I think it's the best Boko episode. Special Attraction because it has my favorite crash. Rusty and the Boulder for being the most intense episode. Hector the Horrid I think is the best episode of the Hit era. Normal Mr. Nice Engine as it was a return to form for Diesel. Emily in the Middle I think is an underrated episode. And Hunt the Truck, because I think this feels like an episode that was always missing. There's always something between Edward and Bill and Ben, and I'm really glad this episode finally explored that relationship with those characters. Favorite movie, Thomas and Friends. It's gotta be The Adventure Begins, because I think that did an incredible job adapting 2 books into one, which you think would make for a mess, but I think it worked out cohesively with establishing Thomas as an origin story and kind of helps out the CGI era with its own continuity. From KW Productions 6737, who do you prefer, Mario or Sonic? Mario for the games, Sonic for the movies. Question 2. How would you make Thomas and Friends if you made the show? I'm gonna save this question for a video that I've had in mind, how to reboot Thomas. I think someone could do that. Like, there is so much to talk about with how to run Thomas's show. I'll just say a few things, like adapt the books first, then later make original stories, and keep the model aesthetic, and yeah, that's all I'll say for now. Third question. Which do you prefer, Disney Pixar or DreamWorks? I think both studios have kind of gone downhill in recent years. The movies haven't been that good, although DreamWorks, they did give us Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and I actually liked Ruby Gillman. I would have liked to see the sequel where the director said that they would tackle the monsters that they mention in the scene where Ruby Gillman meets her grandma, but I don't think we're gonna get a sequel to that, so I guess DreamWorks? Yeah, I'll probably say DreamWorks for now, though if you ask me in the mid-2000s, it would be very close. It'd be very close. From Percy Engine Productions 061, what would happen if fans ran the show? It would be something like Tiger Moth for sure, with model aesthetics, of course, and they would definitely be more consistent. They would have a writer's bible, kind of like with the Hit era, but, you know, more accurate with characters like Henry and stuff. What merchandise brand would you compare the All Engines Go characters to? I don't pay much attention to the merchandise of Thomas, aside from Buckman. I don't know how I would compare All Engines Go to merchandise. What are your thoughts on the MLP series? That is My Little Pony, and I don't have any thoughts. I never watched the show, and I don't know how it's going. Are there any MLP fans watching? Any bronies here. Let me know how the show is going. From Jason Allen 6918, who do you prefer, Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl? I'm gonna say Dark Magician Girl, not just because waifu material, but her design has always been consistent, despite all the alternate artworks, and Dark Magician has been all over the place. Like, his clothes are different, his skin color is different, like, the number of alternate artworks for Dark Magician could be a different monster entirely. Do you like SpongeBob SquarePants and Team Fortress 2? I tried out Team Fortress 2 a while ago. It was okay. I guess I didn't have anyone to play with. SpongeBob, I actually watched SpongeBob in grade 6 when I was in the hospital, and I liked it, but it was never on at home, and I didn't have channels like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, so to you American fans that grew up on those channels, that probably comes as a shocker to you, but I had ABC Kids, and whatever was on ABC Kids and I suppose Toast TV, whatever was on those channels is what I grew up with. If you were instructed to give Thomas and Friends franchise a hard reboot and a new reimagined story, how would you go on doing it? And what characters would you introduce or bring back, and which one would you remove to give a shot? Okay, I think that's supposed to say read more, but that's the full thing. I said before, and I would like to make a reboot video on a Thomas Tank Engine, how I would handle the series. And, yeah, so some of the characters I would introduce, Boko, of course, let Stepney come back, because kind of like how we got Bill and Ben and Edward together, I think there should have been something with Edward and Stepney. They kind of hint that it's season 6 or 7. Yeah, lots of characters would introduce, but yeah, I would like to save it for a video, like a 20-minute video, or longer than that. From Turbo Bracturuko, I'm sorry, from Turbo Bracturu 5996. What's your favorite Thomas merchandise? Wooden Railway, Erdl, Trackmaster, Buckman. If you had a Tim, I think that's supposed to be Time Machine, and go back in time to the 1990s when Thomas was popular, what would you do? I would buy the VHS tapes and have a collection of them. Thoughts on Jack in the Pack? It's good. It was a good spin-off, and I liked most of the episodes. Of course, the best one is when Neville, I can't remember his name, when he crashes the chimney or the whatever the tower was called, and yeah, one of the most, definitely the most impressive crash in Jack in the Pack. And yeah, I'm glad Jack in the Pack was not forgotten. Of course, the worst part is the title of the episodes that Hit Entertainment changed, and yeah, of course they had to shove Thomas in because otherwise we wouldn't recognize Jack in the Pack as part of a Thomas series. Trainboy17, the Jolly Engine asks, favorite video game boss soundtrack? Are you asking like the soundtrack to a video game or the soundtrack to a boss fight? I'm not quite sure what the question is, but I guess for favorite video game boss with the soundtrack is the San from Jedi Outcast, and that's because even though the soundtrack is taken directly out of Return of the Jedi, when you finish off the San, it plays the Emperor's theme in the perfect moment when it's like when Emperor is getting off his throne, and you kind of hear that tune where it's like everything is crumbling down, but in this case of Jedi Outcast, it's when the evil has finally been defeated, and now we can breathe a sigh of relief. I think the Emperor's theme fits perfectly for the San when you defeat him. What's an interesting locomotive basis you'd like to see in Thomas? Now, there was a TV show I watched about Australian trains. I don't remember what the show was called, but there was one which I cannot find that was featured in that show called Samantha the Savannah Hannah, and that is such a perfect name. I think that would be perfect for Thomas and Friends, but I just can't find the silly train. So I promise it exists, and yeah, something like one of the Savannah Trams. Thoughts on the Mario movie? I think it is one of the worst video game adaptations ever. It has no respect for the source material, it gets the characters completely wrong, a massive insult to its fans, and makes me want to throw up every middle finger I've got in my arsenal. Super Mario Bros. Left Film, however, is one of the best adaptations ever. It gets the source material right, its characters are accurately realized, it is a love letter to its fans, and makes me want to give my greatest enemies a big hug. Also, Seth Rogen is so bad at acting, he can't even do a monkey voice.
Dancing backs!
From Leon Engine 1768, what's the one movie out there that is special to you for personal reasons? Man of Steel is my favorite movie of all time. It is a reason I love movies, but some people call it a bad movie. And that is something a lot of YouTube critics don't understand what they're saying, that they want good movies, but Man of Steel shows that even if you make the best movie ever made, people will still hate it. So, I genuinely believe Hollywood studios do not know who to listen to. They say listen to the fans, but even among fans, like, which side of fandoms should you listen to? How do we know what is a good movie or a bad movie anymore? If you could choose, what is the one food that you would eat every day for the entire month without getting tired of it? Bacon. If I could live off a carnivore diet, I would be eating bacon every morning. But, much like veganism, the carnivore diet is also not healthy. The most overrated animated movie in your opinion? You know, I gotta go with Beauty and the Beast. For some reason, this movie never gelled with me. It's never clicked with me. I saw it as a kid, barely remember it. I saw it a few years ago as an adult. Still barely remember it. I don't think the Beast is intimidating. The songs are not catchy at all. I don't know, it just never worked for me with Beauty and the Beast. Siderod Studios asked one question. Do you like age?
You, sir, are an asshole.
From Carlos Garcia M3PS. What other shows do you watch other than Thomas and Friends? Or do you have any other hobbies? I don't watch a lot of other cartoons, but I watch anime, like One Piece. I'm currently at the start of the Punk Hazard story arc. And I've come this far, why stop now? There's also The Boys, that's very R-rated. And Invincible as well. And David Attenborough's documentary series. I don't know if that counts as a TV show. But yeah, that's what I've been watching lately. As for hobbies, well, I have a massive Lego collection, and I'd say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is another hobby, but the way it's been going on YouTube, it's just not profitable, so I feel like I'm gonna be distancing myself from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I still keep up to date with the sets and stuff, but won't be going to as many tournaments as I would, because I gotta work on videos. And what is your favorite fast food restaurant? There is a Chinese restaurant that makes really good food, like salt and pepper squid, satay beef, and honey soy chicken. Delicious. From LMS5935, why do people have numbers in their names? Thoughts on the recent drama in the fandom? Not really opinion, it's just like suggestions for the people who caught in the middle of it. I'm not sure what this is referring to. Like 3 months ago, was that in reference to the season 2 drama? As for recently, like now, I'm seeing people talking about Victor Tanzig. I'm not sure what's going on with that. He seems to have gotten himself into trouble with a lot of fans. I don't know what the story is around that. If anyone knows what's up with Victor Tanzig, then yeah, please let me know in the comments and I will pin that comment, because I keep seeing it on Twitter and I don't know what's going on with that. From New Star Killer, did you know that people compare Thomas and Rosie to Sonic and Amy? or that they have similar dynamics? Well, I didn't know that, but no, I think Amy is way more aggressive than Rosie. And I don't know. I'm not into shipping that much. What is your opinion on the Trampy movies? You know, I never actually heard of the Trampy movies, and after checking them out for a little bit, I do like them. It's a different style of comedy, and my favorite one so far is Rain. That's the one that made me laugh the most, but took a little bit to getting used to the humor of Trampy movies. But yeah, thanks for asking that. I did check them out when I was going through the questions, wondering what the heck is Trampy movies. What type of video game genre do you prefer? First-person shooters, that is my jam. But I also like turn-based RPGs like Pokemon and the Mario and Luigi series. So, first-person shooters and turn-based RPGs. From Sailor Moon Lover 08, have you ever seen Sailor Moon? No, I haven't, unfortunately. It's one of the few mainstream animes that I haven't watched. Do you like Thomas? How do you feel about Age when it was announced in 2020? You know, it's funny that I made a video on it where people seem to be unsure, like even myself, whether this was even a reboot or a continuation, because the CGI series was technically not a reboot, it was a continuation, and we didn't know that about All Engines Go. But you know, I'm kind of glad. No, I take that back. I'm really glad it is a reboot, because that means we can completely ignore it, and when it's cancelled, then it was just a bad stain and nothing more than a bad memory. And the last batch of questions come from Disney Matthew Skunk. Should Age Thomas and OG Thomas exist in the same show? I don't know how that would play out, but I imagine it would be something like Wile E. Coyote in that Roadrunner special, where he is a character that attempts to make sense of a world that makes no sense. And that's what makes Wile E. Coyote such a special character among the Looney Tunes cast. And speaking of which, where is that Wile E. Coyote movie? I've been waiting for a damn trailer, Warner Brothers. But I guess, still waiting to decide who's gonna win the auction to buy the movie from them. Should Thomas and Rosie kiss? I think their buffers would get in the way. How many wildfires have happened in Australia? That many! And that is the questions. Thank you to everyone who left a comment, and I know it's been a long time coming, but I appreciate your patience. Thank you for giving me a follow, and I guess I should plan out what I'm going to do for the next milestone for the channel. But that is all for 2023. This has been a turbulent year, but hopefully 2024 is where my channel will take off, and I hope to bring to you some of the most entertaining, informative Thomas content. And until next time, take care, mate, and I hope you have a happy new year. Because I certainly am not!